Hello everybody, welcome to the third ever movie review, the second episode of Flop Files here on Take 2 Reviews, and today, we got a classic. We got a cult classic, ladies and gentlemen. It's Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck, the single stupidest movie of the, I think the 80s, right? Yeah, right in the 80s. Single worst movie in the 80s. It's probably the single worst movies you could find today. Still not as bad as Shark Exorcist. I think that's the standard bearer in badness. If you can top that, I think you deserve some insane awards. But we gonna try to get into this. This is gonna be the toughest one I've done yet. The reason this is gonna be the toughest one I've done yet is because the the notes I have were very basic. I was more flabbergasted at what I was looking at, so I didn't even put much notes down. So I gotta go off of my memory on how this happens. And this, I'm gonna miss scenes. I'm gonna get scenes wrong. I wrote the notes down. I didn't want to watch this movie again because watching this the first time was a fucking mental destruction. I try to watch each movie at least once, and that's about it. Unless I have to watch it again because I missed something. I probably should have watched this again. I'm not gonna lie. But I didn't think so. I didn't think too so. Okay, let's try to go down this the best way I can. Let's get over the facts. Actually, hold on, we gotta talk about the facts. You know, I'm always dropping little stuff for you here. This is from George Lucas Films, from Marvel, which makes, I think, gives me the right to shit on it even more, because, like, holy shit. The budget was $30 to $37 million, and I need to know where that... Oi! Especially after the end of the movie, Jesus Christ. Like, that is insane, that was the budget this thing had. Box office made about $38 million, so it led to a profit of $1 to $8 million. $1 million if it was 37, obviously. $8 million if it was a, 30 million. Now, I can't remember correctly, but I'm pretty sure the thing is, like, to most movie things, that's a flop. And the reason is while you did make money, I think you expect to make, like, a gigantic amount of money. You at least expect to make double from what you put into it. So if you made $38 million, they probably expect to make about that in return. And you weren't even fucking close. We get the introduction to the movie. It starts off with Howard being... We see the apartment, I think, that Howard and them are in. That Howard's in. And it just has a bunch of neat little movie titles, band titles being switched to duck form, which is kind of clever. I gave him a little nod to that. That's kind of fun. Then Howard starts. So we get introduced to Howard, who looks fucking awful. I don't know who the hell designed Howard. I think they should have been fired on the spot, because he's awful looking. I'm not even gonna lie, but I'm not even gonna be on the bull. He is just straight awful looking. Whoever designed him needs to be removed from the premises of Lucasfilms, because that is just straight awful. It's just awful. It's atrocious. And yeah, he just looks awful. He's sitting there watching TV and then suddenly he just starts getting pulled by a gravitational pull. I'm going to describe it. He's dragged out of his place, dragged through a wall. He's the only one dragged for some reason. Like, no one else is. He doesn't do anything. Like, no one else is fighting it. He's the only one specifically is pulled out of his apartment, pulled out through a wall, and is sent flying into the universe, into the atmosphere, and into outer space, all the way up into Earth. Then he goes to Earth's thing, and he lands on Earth, on the human planet. He comes to and is trying to figure out where the hell he is, and people are freaking out. And the one part that popped me the most is there's a bike gang, I'm pretty sure, hits him or goes and chases him, and they were called Satan Sluts. And I said that's the best motor gang name I've ever heard, and I love it completely. Satan Sluts is fucking stupendous. That's the only time you see them, but it's all I needed to see. So he's, running away. I'm pretty sure he ends up in a garbage can or garbage bin just to hide from people. And then we get introduced to the band who's playing, Beverly's band. Well, Beverly's the lead person we'll meet here. She comes out of the thing. She's leaving. She's walking down a pathway. And two guys, as I guess is expected to happen in this 1980s movie, tried to sexually assault her. Because, of course, that's what you do. And this is set up for a comedy thing. This is set up for comedy. You're supposed to laugh by the end of this scene. Because then, Howard the Duck hears this, and he pops out and stands on the trash can and says he's going to give them some duck foo. I'm pretty sure is literally what he calls it. So his version of kung fu, duck foo. And he starts then single-handedly whooping the ass of these two individuals with ease. Because he is the duck. So apparently he has extreme fighting abilities. So he starts fighting. And these two guys, as you would, run away. And yet somehow Beverly, the woman in this movie, seeing a talking duck right in front of her is the most normalest scene in this thing now. She reacts to him like it's the most normal thing. No, there's no fear, no scared, no nothing. She talks to him like it's the most normal human being. I find her the creepiest part of this movie. Her at the beginning of this movie was so weird that I found her disturbing. Her reaction to Howard is almost disturbed. I find it creepy. I'm not even gonna lie. I found it creepy. So she, that, and Howard obviously has nowhere to go. Oh, I forgot to drop my other facts. We'll do it after I talk about the scene. So he doesn't know where to go, so she decides, as you would, when you find a talking duck, that you'll bring it home and it can just live with you. That's apparently the thing for it. By the way, this movie was nominated for 7 Razzies in 1987 and won 4. It was nominated for, and it won for Worst Visual Effects, Worst New Star, Worst Screenplay, and Worst Picture. It got 13% on the tomato meter and 38% on an audience score. Just thought I wanted to give that there so I didn't forget. Howard then go back to his place. They just start asking questions about, she's trying to get to know him, and then she's like, what do you drink? And he just goes, beer. And she's like, oh, beer, okay. But Howard, so they start talking, then Howard's chair starts shaking, I think. Yeah, the chair Howard starts shaking, and Howard has a full-on panic attack. He freaks the fuck out. It scares the living shit out of Howard. And it is, he like runs and hides in that. And it's very weird. And she calms him down, and then she makes out, and then Howard falls asleep. And as you, again, this just made Beverly more creepy. I mean, the first thing Beverly does then is starts looking through his pockets and looks through his wallet. And I was like, are you about to rob a duck? Is she literally about to pickpocket and rob a duck? Because that's what I thought she looked like everything you would do. You fall asleep, you wait, you look through the wallet, see if they got any money in there, you went to go take the money. I'm pretty sure he had a condom in there for some reason, and she found that funny. This movie is something else, that's all I can say. This movie is something fucking else. We then have a, Beverly takes Howard to go see a scientist she knows. I don't ever recall getting a name for this guy, but I could be wrong. I don't remember his name. So Howard, it goes and meets the scientist. And the scientist has one of the most hilariously weird scenes I've seen in some time. He freaks the fuck out over me and Howard. He then runs into a room full of people, his like executive bosses and all that. And he goes to say something, and then he doesn't. And then he just starts like laughing hysterically, and leaves. And it was one of the weirdest and yet funniest things I ever seen. It was so bizarre. I'll play the scene from when he enters the room, like here.
Everybody, this is it. I've just seen it. It's in there. It's nothing. It's nothing. Never mind. Carry on, Dr. Chapin.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyways. It's so hilarious to me how this goes. So then they're trying to figure out how the heck to describe. The scientists trying to figure out how Howard got there and how this man's thoughts on how he did things is this guy's batshit on some shit. Because this guy starts to just lose his mind, his thought process, man. And Howard leaves in frustration just how annoyed this guy is. So Howard then gets mean to Beverly because, you know, he has to be a dick. So Howard yells at Beverly, Beverly leaves, and now that Howard's on his own. And he has his first job. I don't remember what his first job was. I didn't have it written down, but he ends up quitting it. He ends up quitting the job. Howard then... Oh, don't. Yeah, look at me. Oh, so Howard's then walking, and on the TV screen, it talks about hunting. Specifically, that's duck hunting season. And, not rabbit season, duck hunting season. So, and of course, Howard, having no idea this is a thing, freaks the fuck out and starts running and hiding. Because, of course you would. You're scared that someone's gonna start hunting you. So, yeah, that's the thing that happens. Howard then goes to the bar where Beverly plays, and Howard and he sits at the bar and there's these three guys there and they're talking shit about Beverly and the band. I guess one of them's the promoter. So the promoter is trying to never pay them, I think, and and Howard, of course, being the normal man he is, stands up for this and demands that he the promoter gives him the money, which of course he says no. So Howard's response is to lose his thing and start fighting these three men inside this bar. And this fight goes for a good length of time, but Howard ends up winning in the end. Howard just ends up winning, and he ends up throwing down, laying down and get the money. He then ends up backstage to their room where Howard gives them the money. Also, the scientist that freaks out shows up because I guess he's banging one of the people in the band. How? I have no idea, because he's about as... I don't know how any woman would talk to this psychopath, so... But he does. He ends up getting one of them. And Howard, and he tries to do something with... I think if I remember correctly... Yeah, so they pluck, one of the... a feather. He plucks a feather from the thing of Howard. and runs away with it, which is weird. Howard then and Beverly end up in her place, and they tease the possibility of a sex scene between them, which is so fucked. Like, there's not even a normal way to go about it. It's just so damn fucked up that that's a thing that's happened. That's a thing they even thought of. My one note for that part was, what the fuck were they thinking with this movie? And that is an honest question. What were they thinking? What were they thinking when they made this movie? Because there was something that's not right, that's messed up, that needs to be studied on how fucked up this movie is. Like, you can't... the thought process they had... I am fuzzy for some reason. There we go. The thought process they had is insane. I'm keeping that all in, by the way. I'm just saying. The weird scientists and other people come up because they think they know what happened to how Howard got here, and they go back to a scientist lab where they have this big laser thing that I don't remember the full details of, but they have this laser thing, and it set a beam out, and the beam pulled Howard into this Earth for some reason. And then then because of course you don't have anything worse than that, you need a demon showing up somehow, because I can't get away from demons and exorcisms and all that shit. So a demon is showing up, and it invades the body of one of the main scientist, not the one that goes crazy for Howard, just some other scientist, and it's possessed by him, and it possesses him. But police are also looking for Howard. I don't remember why, but just Howard's pure existence causes the police to freak out, so they gotta get him. They then go to a diner scene trying to get some Howard, and then needs food, and the one doctor thing is just completely possessed and is talking a bunch of gibberish fucking nonsense. But it needs to get power because it needs to summon, I think it needs like a USB stick or some type of stick thingy, something to make it so they can start this beam again and bring the other demons down to possess and take over the world, yada yada yada. So the demon, god dang, I'm trying to remember things from this. So suddenly some brawl breaks out where everyone starts attacking the duck, and the plan is to, they were gonna, I don't know, I think kill the duck, kill Howard, and she says something about that Howard has the thingy, so if they kill him, they'll take it for themselves, which causes the doctor, the possessed doctor, to raise fucking havoc in the diner. Starts taking the people out one by one by two by one by two, and he starts just destroying everyone. He takes out Howard even afterwards and grabs Beverly and drags Beverly along because she's the one he wants to get possessed by another one of his demons. So he drags her along and they go on a little ride. Howard then goes and helps the one scientist dude break out of a police car and escape. We also get a scene where someone stops the demon guy because they were doing a police traffic stop looking for Howard, and the demon guy shoots lasers out of his eyes at a person and just fucking makes them disintegrate. Popped me completely. I'm not even gonna lie, that popped me the hell. That was amazing. The doctor then takes Beverly to a power plant. And at this power plant, he just perfectly able to blend in as doctor, and the doctor then perfectly is able to get in and get the power he needs, like fuels up. powers up, morphs up, and then he leaves. And he looks insane when he comes back to the thing with Beverly, and Beverly ain't fucking with that guy. I would have fucked with the other demon, but that guy, well, after he looks possessed and morphed up and all that, nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't fucking with that guy either. I'm on Beverly's side with that one. Howard, I'm missing a bunch of scenes here, I know. But I'm going off my notes and my own memory, that's about it. And all I need is the main stuff I remember in my head to know how batshit insane this movie is. So I miss scenes, I know I'm gonna miss scenes, I know there's missing parts, I know. I'm trying here. After these two, I'm not doing any other one that I ain't gonna review the day I watch it. If not the day after. So Howard then, the doctor takes Beverly to the lab where the beam is. And Howard and the guy need to find a way. So they find this like flying bike contraption. I don't even know how this existed. I think they either built it or they found it and got it to work or something like that. So they start flying in the air to the lab. I don't know how this went. The police are chasing them. It's funny as hell actually. And stupid. So they're flying and all that. And then I don't know. So they get to the lab. And then they grab this gigantic ass machine. Because they have to battle the demon doctor. So they find a machine and you can ride it. Except neither of them know how to control it. So it crashes immediately. So the demon starts continuing his thing because they suck, and he starts summoning the other demons to show up and possess Beverly. I don't know what they expect, how many people they expect to possess Beverly, because if there's like 4 or 5 of them, they'll end up a problem for Beverly and the demons, because they all gonna have to figure out who's in control here. So the demon then starts possessing them, and Howard finally gets control of the machine and shoots a laser at the machine at the laser, and that stops it and takes out the doctor who is unpossessed. And then I was like, oh, that movie was bad. I thought that was the end. Oh no, it is not, because here's then what happens, and this is the best part, because this is the worst part. We then get the demon in real life form. And it is the worst CGI I have ever seen. I have seen The Shark Exorcist. I have seen bad movies and bad CGI, but nothing will top this, because it is so bad, so lazy, so unthought out. It's so bullshit on how they put such effort into this. That is the single worst CGI I've ever seen in my life, and I don't think it'll ever be topped. I don't think I'll ever find as bad of CGI as I did for this. So I don't think it can be done. Anyways, he ends up taking out Howard takes the demon out and ends up saving the day, and then Howard decides, because if he destroys the machine, he had to decide between destroying the machine. If he destroys the machine, the demons will have to leave, but he'll have to forcibly stay in the Earth world, human world. And he chooses to do that, and then he ends up the manager for the band, and they all live happily ever after, and yeah. This movie sucks. Movie straight sucks. It definitely deserves to be on the flop files, because it does not. Does it deserve a take 2? No. No, because it's a special type of thing that should never be done again. Because you will never make this scene, you will never make this movie with this plot unless you redo the whole thing. You will never have a movie that you can never make this work even in current day and age. It's just not possible. I thought the challenge to Lucasfilms and that to try again. I would love to see them attempt it. It won't work, but I would love to see them try. Love to see them try. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought. Oh, wait, to rate it. On the worst scale, I think it's about an 8. On the worst scale, I think it's about 8 out of 10. When it comes to the best, it's a 1. Like, no, actually, no, wait, that's not fair. It's about a 2. It's a 2. Because Shark Exorcist is still a 1. Because at least this has some form of a fucking plot line. It's just badly done, but fuck, Shark Exorcist doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought of this review and what you think of this movie down in the comment section below. Help the channel out with a like and a subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. I don't know what we're doing next for the next review. I'll be left a surprise. See ya.